Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am, of course, General Lotz, and here we are today with a most requested game of Wolfenstein, The Old Blood. I am joined by my partners in YouTubing, Ragekill.
Yo.
And Rainnick.
Yeah.
And so we're going to be playing through this. I actually got this copy completely for free. It came with Doom 2016 that was donated by... actually, I'm going to do Don't Hurt Me because I am streaming after all. That's my excuse. It was donated by, I believe, Rico Rodrigue, which is not an easy name to say or read. So, did either one of y'all play this game?
Nope.
Really?
I played it on a friend's PC, and I don't know if I prefer the original or Old Blood. The missions are different.
Well, the big problem with Old Blood is, of course, it's much more simplified than, say, Return to Castle Wolfenstein. So, it's certainly not a bad game, but it's still very much a modern-day thing. And I was going through my review of, and also it's very quiet, after we get through the cutscene here. I'll turn the audio up. But, yeah, there's a lot of strange history going on in this game. It's like... You're going to tell me one guy has enough technology to turn the tide of the war? I'm not buying that.
Yeah, especially since history has shown us that you can build the strongest and the greatest weapons ever, but history isn't too kind to those who build less weapons.
Exactly. Also, Easter egg, we have the rocket launcher from Quake 3 Arena as the keychain thing. And the game looks really good. That's the one problem with a lot of modern games is they look great, but they play very simply. And that's one of the things with this game. It's not I guess it's not that big of a problem, but it's a lot simpler than Return to Castle Wolfenstein ever was. But this is still better than New Order. You know, I was going through some of the old videos. That New Order video, while not bad, I actually say the New Order is like the greatest first-person shooter ever. That is me on being insane. I don't know why I would say that. That is so far from the truth, it's not even funny.
Endorphins are a funny thing.
Someone made a Joffrey Leonard skin for Quake 3. I have no idea who that is. I assume that's some sort of... I thought you were going to talk about Jeffrey, or Joffrey, I pronounce his name, from that Game of Thrones show, which I thankfully will never have to watch ever again. You know, I didn't like Game of Thrones when it came out. I liked it because it had Sean Bean in it, then they killed him. And that's not a spoiler because he dies in the first season.
But Sean Bean, he dies in everything he's in.
That's true. I think he lived in something. I'm not entirely sure what, though. And, it's kind of interesting all the stuff he's been in. Believe it or not, he was in GoldenEye. For those who are James Bond fans. Oh, Jeffrey, actually. Joffrey sounds better. And yes, I have seen the Dark Forces remake in Unreal Tournament 4. It seems like, well, nothing gets remade in Unreal Tournament 4. It's either shut down or they stop development. None of that stuff is ever finished. And, you know...
Depends. There has been one, sort of, and that was the Pod Racer. Of course, it got shot down after it was finished, but... Yeah.
Oh, it actually was finished. Good thing I downloaded it, then. We'll take a look at that at some point in the future. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting a solid 60 frames with the GTX 9, whatever the hell it is. I recently upgraded. Well, it was a side grade. It's every bit as good as the RX 480, except it doesn't do Vulkan nearly as well. But it does OpenGL well, which is what I needed. Well, I say I needed it, but now I decided to change a couple reviews. Instead of reviewing the original KOTOR on PC, I'm actually going to review that on the Xbox. Because I want to be able to do two KOTOR videos, one that's quick and easy and one that is less so. It's because I don't have time to devote to the original hour-long planned video for KOTOR 1 and 2. There is no way I could get that done in a month or 2 months. Because I'm still working on Battlefront 2, you know, 2 weeks later. Oh, there's the Robodogs. Now, of course, you know, you gotta love...
Like a giant rat.
I guess he kind of looks like... Oh, he wants my papers. Of course they do. He's the obvious asshole. No wonder we get to kill him.
Sure, it's not a giant rat from that movie. The hell is that? movie called?
I like how everyone just laughs at that. It's so not... That has got to be the most suspicious thing anyone can say. Because, like, okay, when you're trying to get into a, you know, highly sensitive area, if you make a joke, it's pretty obvious you're not who you're supposed to be. But whatever. Whatever, man.
Deadly Eyes. That's not.
Oh, let's see how the typing goes. Actually, that typing doesn't look too bad. He actually is touching the keyboard on the typewriter now.
Oh my god.
I remember back in...
He's a hunting pecker, though.
That is true. Oh, keyboards. My hands are very tired from 50 hours of typing. Jeffrey Leonard is a kind of a meme. I never heard of it. What if the war was actually going this bad for us? Could I feel... It wouldn't have been, though. I mean, there's no...
Tired and thinking keys all day.
Well... All I can say is the hotkeys could be a little better. I'm not going to criticize it too much, but...
Are you going to need to start wearing those gloves for your wrist stuff?
I don't know, I might.
Yeah, so they do come in handy.
All I can say is Control P... No, Alt P has got to be the most annoying thing to do, because...
Control P!
Yeah, Alt P. Because, you know, it's a two-handed operation to operate the keyboard. And so... In order to do Alt-P, you have to take your hand from the tin... I don't think anyone wants to hear about my daily work grind of having to move my hand from the tin key 8 million times per second. I mean, not that much.
Even at home keys position, you're going to have to move your pinky on a control and your ring finger on a P. That's not fun.
No, it is not. The SS Paranormal Division. Now, this was originally supposed to... Well, it wasn't originally, it is. This gets back to the Wolfenstein roots of, you know, the various things relating to the paranormal. Now, what's kind of interesting is currently I'm reading the third book in the Monster Hunter series called Monster Hunter Alpha, and it's confirmed in that book that there was a bunch of supernatural shenanigans going on in World War II. Makes you wonder if B.J. Blazkowicz existed in the Monster Hunter universe.
Might just.
It's kind of an interesting thing, though, when you think about relative power levels. Yes, over 9,000, we get it. It's an old meme, and it's a tired meme. But power levels is a thing, though. Like, take the relative power level of, say, BJ here and the Doomslayer. Doomslayer would technically be more powerful than him because he has greater strength, durability, and stuff like that.
Yeah, the problem is we have no metric for what a, you know, they say power level, but it's not given a unit. Like, are we talking newtons of force? Are we talking, you know, joules?
That's true, actually. I don't know, I guess you could, like, have an aggregate of speed, strength, durability, and reaction time. That's what I think of when I think of power level, like, what you're capable of doing in terms of, like, say, combat effectiveness.
Yeah, well, we're always given it as an abstraction in fiction, but it's something that's never really covered. Like, we're putting it into joules. Okay, well, if we're going by that, you know, your average cell phone has the same joule output battery-wise as a 44 Magnum.
Which is kind of crazy. I did not know that. And that is one big silencer. Well, suppressor. Suppressor silencer.
Both are acceptable. Remember Maxim, when he first made them, called them silencers.
Bap. It's a good thing that pistol round went through that helmet. Also, why does he have the little electrical thing? Is that really good for anything? I'm just saying. Okay, you gotta love that. Look at his head. It's just it's just a blood spot. That's it. There's no actual damage done to it.
It just blew off all the skin of his head, left everything else intact.
Oh crap. Well, there went my stealth run. I blame the chat. That really isn't stealthy.
The backpacks, that's really, to answer your question, no, that is actually really impractical and really dangerous. You do not want an exposed arc anytime.
It makes you get fried.
Well, that's just it. Electricity goes out of its way to find the easiest path to Earth. and it's random. Basically, you may think you know exactly where electricity is going to go, but if at any time you become the easiest path to Earth, you're the conductor now.
Yep. You gonna get fried, basically. And that ain't gonna be fun. Especially depend. Now, what a lot of people don't know is volts don't necessarily mean as much as you would think. It, if I'm not mistaken, it's the ohms, right?
Well, ohm's basically the resistance. It's the amperage that matters.
Okay. I haven't thought
I can
about it.
put 1,000 volts through me right now using this TNG unit that I use for taking care of muscle pain. I got no problem. Now, if I were to increase the amperage of that, that'd be a crispy critter.
I had not thought about electricity in many a year, so yeah. I knew it was something like that. It's not what everyone thinks it is. It's why you can shock somebody with like a 10,000 volt taser, and it's not going to kill them.
Well, it can, but
well, it's not going to fry them.
Likely.
Yeah. So the volts on the Jurassic Park fences don't matter. Well, they kind of do and kind of don't.
We don't know. Well, let me rephrase that. We sort of know the ohm rating for those fences, which is about 0.5 ohm, given the gauge of steel wire and type of steel wire, galvanized steel wire, they're using for that fence. So we can assume that the amperage for that is pretty damn insane. It's enough to weld with.
It'd have to be pretty high, though, for those dinosaurs. Now, you know, when it comes to Jurassic Park, that park was never really going to work from day one. I mean, the whole automated thing... I'm talking about the movie version. The book version was actually a little better about it.
It was also unfinished.
Yeah, but even then, it's like... Well, in the book version, if we look at the book version, the fact that they're saving CPU cycles for the zoo is a pretty stupid idea. I mean, come on. Spared no expense, right?
The fact he's buying Cray supercomputers on the regular.
And even then, that's
Those
something...
are multi-million-dollar computers.
That's something a lot of the younger fans won't get, is that, yes, at one time, you had to save CPU cycles. A Cray super...
No. The well rod is not the only silencer. I can point you to thousands of suppressors made today which take a 9mm or smaller projectile and get down to about as quiet as dropping a book on a tile floor. Very, very quiet.
Speaking of which, the MP5, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first time I ever saw a suppressor that actually looked like it was worth a damn. The one on that thing, when I first heard that, you know, just the... You only heard the bullet smacking the steel plate. Oh, there's another Easter egg. It's the Dovahkiin helmet, which is the worst helmet in the game.
One of, yeah.
And who just keeps a bunch of skulls sitting around? I mean, come on. I get that they're Nazis, but still. And they are members of the SS, so they have to actually join the Nazi party. But still. I mean, come on. Well, of course, then again, there was that one guy who had... This is true, actually. There is one guy who had a lamp made out of human flesh.
That actually is true. And actually in multiple cases. There was one Nazi individual who did do some disgusting things with the remains of the victims. And there was Ed Gein.
Who wasn't a Nazi.
But he was just... Yeah. As for the Sturmgewehr, STG-44, very solid gun.
Yeah, wasn't Ed Gein a lonely farm boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was basically why the movie Psycho and
Texas Chainsaw
Massacre and all that were made.
If you ever watched the Hitchcock film, Ed Gein's actually sort of something that sort of is a character that Alfred Hitchcock will hallucinate talking to. I don't think that happened in real life, but it made for some interesting scenes.
Know, maybe.
Oh god, I wasn't paying
attention. The alias Norman uses in Psycho 4 when he calls the radio.
You know, we did a video on that. I don't know how long ago, and I completely forgot that. They just went in one ear and out the other. Wait, Psycho 4 wasn't bad. Yeah, Psycho 4. Yeah, Psycho 4, ladies and gentlemen. There have been multiple Psychos. And Psycho 4... I forget which channel that's on, though. Is that on mine? I just don't remember, but...
I don't know either. I can't answer that.
No, I guess I should check the chat. I believe in UFOs, astral projections.
Election Ghostbusters.
And hello, Big Swole. But that being said, paranormal stuff. I'm not really sure if that exists or not, to be honest. It's one of those things where there's a lot of stuff that is unexplained that we don't know too much about, and so it could... I'm not going to shoot it down because there's no way to really know at this point if it is or isn't. A lot of that stuff is debunked. And how the hell is BJ supposed to fit through there? I'm just saying, BJ is a giant meat slab, and you're going to tell me I couldn't fit through there, and I'm not even as big as he is. Yet there he goes.
Maybe in my 20s I could fit through there, but now, no.
And
my shoulders would get stuck.
Yeah, it's just about anybody.
That needs to happen in an action movie. Oh shit.
Let's see.
Do you know the Die Hard sequel? We get stuck in the vents.
That'd be hilarious. Die Hard on a diet.
Now I know what a TV dinner feels like.
TV dinners are actually horribly disgusting. I actually tasted a little bit of one of those Hungry Jack things once. My God, that was nasty.
Well, the old style TV dinners haven't been made since I was a kid.
Lotz tasted Hungry Jack.
Oh my. Well, Hungry Jack himself will probably taste better than that shit, so just saying.
Well, like I say, when I was a kid, they actually had the, the chin. When you bought a TV dinner, you didn't microwave it. You couldn't, because you would blow up your microwave.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, don't put metal in the microwave. Because bad things will happen.
They actually have microwaves. You can do that. It's like they have a growing function on it, but...
Well, there's special metals you use for that. You don't just take, a wad of aluminum foil and just slam it in there.
Don't tell me how to use my microwave. No kidding.
Well, if you want to see sparks, knock yourself out.
Yeah, I accidentally left like a fork in something once and it started sparking. I was like, what the hell? I did not know that would actually happen. That's a lot of roaches.
What's worse is when you meet those uneducated people who don't give a shit. Like, your microwave is gonna die, pal.
You immediately get captured by the Iron Sky guy and that giant robot. Well, it's not really a giant robot.
Possibly. Putting CDs in the microwave is pretty cool.
Really? That sounds weird.
Yeah, but it's going to eventually ruin the microwave. If you got a microwave that's on its way out, knock yourself out. Go for it, because you're just going to basically see your CD turn into a makeshift plasma ball.
I gotta admit, I really like those plasma balls. I used to have one. I mean, it's one of those things that, you're from the South when you like the shinies, because, yeah.
Didn't you ever
it's not
see
just
that?
a Southern thing. It's sold worldwide pretty well.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't you ever see that cornball movie where they had like go to the center of the earth to like, I don't know, Earth or something?
Wait, what?
I think it was called The Core.
Oh, that thing! I know what you're talking about.
And there was a scene where the hacker guy like threw a bunch of CDs in the microwave or whatever.
I honestly do not remember that. Also, Wolfenstein has now turned into Tomb Raider for some reason, but whatever.
Oh man, I'll have to send you that scene. It's one of the most ridiculous Hollywood hacker getting caught.
Would you believe that it's actually based on a book, and I have read the book?
If I'm not mistaken, he puts like floppies in the toaster oven or something. I can't remember.
Well, my floppy disk that. Oh, I don't know. The Core was... There was a lot of those Journey to the Center of the Earth movies, like in the early 90s for some reason.
I mean, basically, we're out of ideas, let's rip off H.G. Wells.
Oh, I guess I can't do that with him. I can't just stab him in the back.
Well, it might be one of the last ones to come out in the theater, because these days, that's like usually direct TV stuff. But occasionally we get the pocket.
Oh, just kill me. That way I can actually come back and, sneak around a little better. I remember this now. But it was such a weird thing, though, to see all those Journey to the Center of the Earth things. There's also some Journey to the Center of the Earth kind of books that were released around that same time as well. There's one I wanted to find, but I can't remember the title. I can remember the cover, because it had some great cover art of like these otherworldly tanks like fighting each other. I don't remember the title. I don't remember the writer, but I do remember there's one scene in the book where the underground dwellers, whatever they were called, were talking about how they sold makeup to make people look older than they really were, like wrinkle makeup. I thought it was like the weirdest thing ever at the time. It was one of those...
have weird fashion sense.
Evidently. Have you ever fired a Derringer? I owned a Derringer at one point. It was a 22 Magnum one. It was completely... The trigger was atrocious. The hammer took like a block and tackle to get down, and it was completely inaccurate.
Yeah, my final thought on the core is it came out in 2003. It felt like one of those movies that would come out in 95. It got stuck in like a freezer. You know, it's not out movies.
It's one of those. It's one of those movies that you don't want to think about it too hard because it's really dumb. Oh, come on, just kill me so I can reload the save. I gotta remember how to play this game now.
I remember when Hollywood was getting competition with disaster movies. We had like Volcano, and we had remember that other one was?
Yeah, the one with Pierce Brosnan.
Dantes Peak.
Yeah, that's the one.
Ron, Sarah Connor, and James Bond.
You know what's funny about Dantes Peak, though? For years afterwards, I would always, whenever they would mention the show Twin Peaks, I'd always get the two mixed up. Wait, is that the TV?
Very, very different, but yeah, I can see the naming convention.
Because I'm not really entirely sure what Twin Peaks is even about. I know it's a thing with paranormal stuff, maybe?
Best way to put it is, you ever play a Suda51 video game?
No.
Okay, then I'm going to put it a lot more blunt than that. You ever want to see something that makes you feel like you're on drugs?
Well, speaking of something that makes you feel like you're on drugs, I got to see, finally, Cowl's Moving Castle.
Howl.
Howl, whatever. Cal, I don't even know. That guy, the dude with the anime hair, that is every teenage girl's, shall we say, fat fuel. When I first saw him, I just kind of laughed at him, because, I mean, it's just too hilarious. Because he had this long blonde hair, and it's like... But... That aside, it was actually a really well-written film. The animation was absolutely beautiful, and I highly recommend it. That was actually my first Studio Ghibli film. And I'm going to watch some more of the Studio Ghibli stuff as time goes on. I have seen Serious Duke 3D. You had to flip the switches and hold them. Okay. You have to flip the switches and hold them till the... Oh, okay. I remember now. Thank you. You gotta remember, I just worked 10 hours today. I had to get up at 4... I get up every day at 4 in the morning. Oh my god, I know how to play the Vigigams. Now, when I first played this, the RX 480 hated this game. It did not run at anything over like 15 frames per second. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to sneak over here and shut him down. Now, can we kill him? I seem to remember being able to kill him. Like, stab him in the back, maybe? Wait, did I power him down? Okay. It seems to me... Yeah, I can kill him. Alright, there we go. And we just smack him. That's kind of a design flaw, I gotta say. Ho, ho, ho time. Got a machine gun. I think I can kill him with this.
As for Derringers, I've got one which has a bit of a history to it, but there is one Derringer I've fired which I will never fire again. Ever. Even if paid.
Oh, Lotz. Did you watch that?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you watch that J.J. Abrams produced zombie Nazi movie thing?
I'll get on to that after Rain finishes this thing, because I actually watched it literally last week.
Okay.
No, this takes precedent. You go for it.
Okay.
Because it's Jar Abrams, and he deserves a good flogging.
Well, except this time he actually got it kind of right, believe it or not. I went in there expecting it to be kind of crappy, but believe it or not, It's got good characters. It doesn't get SJW. It's not in any way, shape, or form historically accurate, like, at all. At the risk of sounding controversial, the main character is black, and there weren't black combat troops at that time in the war. So don't say I'm Mr. Racist. That's just history, okay? And so, you know, the main character was black. That's not even remotely historically accurate. There was a black jump officer. That's also not historically accurate. However, the guy playing the main character, I don't know what his name is, did such a good job I didn't care. Honestly, this would have made for a good basic war drama, a non-historically accurate war drama in any way, shape, or form. It's as historically accurate as Battle of the Bulge was. For those who don't know what that is, Battle of the Bulge was a 70s era movie that had nothing to do with anything in real life. Basically, it was shot in Spain during the summer when the Battle of the Bulge took place in winter, but whatever.
Yeah,
but
not at all accurate, but fun.
Well, of course. I wouldn't expect it to be.
But really, Overlord wasn't that bad. It was surprisingly good. I don't think JJ actually did it. I think he just like produced it or something.
Yeah, he just produced it.
Okay, so that must explain it, because like his usual brand of bad writing is not actually present. There's a lot of lens flares, but whatever. I really liked it, despite it being historically inaccurate with the black combat troop. Once again, I can ignore that if the writing is good and if the actor can do his job. And they didn't do anything SJW. That's the important thing.
I already told you, but yeah, originally it was going to be a Cloverfield spinoff.
What's with him and Cloverfield? It's just like the name. Did you just think the name's cool?
I don't know. I think
It's Jar Abrams. He does.
I didn't watch.
Logic.
I didn't watch. Sorry.
You're
I didn't watch
the same guy who made Lost. There's no logic there. It's just let's just rip people off and quote unquote make things up and never finish them.
But Lost was interesting.
It was never finished.
And let's not forget Trek 11. But at the very least, Overlord actually is well worth watching. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, it has cool characters. The action is actually pretty basic. You don't see too much fighting. The zombies are completely tacked on, though. The movie kind of falls apart whenever the zombies show up, because it's this deep, serious war drama, and then zombies. It's like, I honestly think it would have been better without the zombies. And just have it be a traditional war movie. Although, I was thinking about this today while at work when I was thinking about the live stream. It does succumb to the age-old issue of demonic Germans. All the Germans are evil, to the point where it's a little silly, because they don't act like, you know, people. They act like your traditional, you know, villain Germans, and I found that kind of annoying, but once again, that's not surprising, especially considering that it's modern-day Hollywood. Still, though, if you can overlook that, overlook the zombies being kind of tacked on, it's worth watching. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't great, but it was okay. So, there we go. It's like the Tomb Raiders, which I need to actually finish. And so, yeah, let's see, I'll check the chat real quick. And hello, Epic Jason X9000. 2012 Lego Y-Wing. 20th anniversary of...
I don't know, I think usually JJ is a decent producer.
I have no confidence in Jar Abrams. I've seen nothing of his that I would ever want to rewatch, and only a few things that I didn't immediately want to basically get a refund from watching.
I don't know, like, he directed Mission Impossible 3, and that was pretty good.
Not really. That series had overstayed its welcome after 2.
I've not seen any of them, so I don't know.
Super 8 was pretty good.
You know, I thought that was actually pretty good as well. It's an obvious ripoff of E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but I liked it. I haven't seen it since I saw it back in 2011, though. Outlaw Star and Trigon, that's pretty good. Battlefront 1, I'm not going to get to that this year. I had to cancel it. Assault rifles fire intermediate cartridges. Again, that fires full rifle rounds automatically. Yeah, the BIR does.
This is FNFAL and certain models of G3. But the only controllable one thus far has been the G3 and the SCAR. And even then, it's kind of pointless to fire a full-powered rifle round in fully automatic.
I remember Alias being alright.
Honestly, when it comes to JJ, I've seen a grand total of his Star Trek work with his, which, when you see it in the theater, it's like, oh, look at the things. Then when you think about it, it's like, oh, that's the stupidest shit I've ever seen. I've seen that in Super 8.
I think Fringe is the best thing he's...
Which I need time to be able to see. As for Studio Ghibli, I really like it, though. Or at least that one. I'm going to watch some of the others as time goes on. And, yeah, Jurgen, I'm not surprised. People, for some reason, don't like to take showers. I do not understand this.
He also produced the Stephen King, James Franco, 11/22/63. That was also really good.
Sorry, I'm going to have to discount that.
You know, I actually read the book and saw that.
The book's fine. I do not like anything that Jar Abrams has ever put out, nor will I.
How could you?
It's not a matter of bias, it's a matter of the guy cannot direct, and he cannot write to save his life.
He is pretty derivative, I will admit that. But, see, I guess I have lower standards, because I want to see some of this stuff, and no one else is producing it, so it's like, I'll take what I can get, you know? Come on.
Yeah, he didn't write that, he just produced it.
Oh, he can write pretty terrible. He completely nullified the entire point of Starfleet and Star Trek.
Yeah, that goddamn thing. Now, I'm probably only going to be able to finish this level, because I can only stream for an hour, unfortunately. Let's see. 20th century. Low standards are better than no standards.
Oh, I will admit the bias, but here's the thing. I don't just watch
wise. He saved Star Trek.
Yeah, but from a writing point of view and from a directing point of view, no. You see, I'm not like your average Hollywood theater goer.
Enterprise kind of helped kill the franchise.
The handling of Enterprise helped kill.
Yeah.
Enterprise itself wasn't that bad. It was just horribly handled and was given the worst time slots. Basically left to die.
Right. I think recently it's starting to get kind of a cult fan base. People were watching it.
Would you say it was Left 4 Dead?
Oh, yeah.
Da 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 da. Whap.
Womp.
Stop shooting at me. I don't have any time. Let's see. M4s have less velocity. Oh yeah, speaking of firearms, theoretically, at some point this year, I will finally have myself an M1 Garand. Hopefully. Come on, open it up, BJ. Open it up. Yeah! I love how BJ can tank, you know, multiple Gatling gun rounds to the back. Because, you know, he is just one giant slab of meat after all.
Well, up until later in the series, but that's something entirely different.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even want to know, although I probably will know. Are you talking about Youngblood? Did they, like, completely ruin him in that? Or...
Yeah. Oh, no, it happens before Youngblood, but...
Oh, and one of those DLCs that I couldn't give a crap about.
No, it's canon to the storyline. It's not a DLC.
No. Then what was it?
It's going to be a spoiler, so I'll say it after the stream.
Alright. Ooh, we got an M1 Garand a few years back. Awesome. I can't wait to get mine, hopefully. Assuming the CMP doesn't run out of them, and assuming nothing monetarily happens that doesn't allow me to buy it. Because the car and a variety of other things come first. Because cars are not cheap.
No, they aren't. That's my current worry right now.
Ugh. That is never fun, having to deal with that shite. It's the beginning of Star Wars. None of the prequels were that bad compared to... Oh, the Disney films! See, there's a lot of... For those who've seen the vlog, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on that's changing in my life. It's changed to the point where at some point soon, due to me having a different attitude about things, eventually I will actually sit down and watch the shit wars. I mean, soy wars. Soy shit wars. We'll call it that. And actually give my thoughts on those.
God.
We'll see when it's going to be, though. Don't expect it anytime soon, because right now I'm just doing good to get out my one live stream a week and my one review a month, so I will finally sit down to watch them, and yeah.
Oh, you're gonna finally finish Rogue One.
Oh god, you know. Oh, speaking of which, oh, you had to remind me of that pain, did you? Oh my god. Okay. So I haven't actually watched all of it. I got to the point where the dude with the bow shoots down the TIE fighter, which was the stupidest thing I ever saw. But it gets worse. Oh yes, it gets worse. You got a scene with Darth Vader and not Thrawn talking to each other. And of course Vader's got to do the old chokey, right? Well, when he does it, he gives this horrible quip that is just so annoying. Instead of... Remember in the original trilogy, he's like, I find your lack of faith disturbing and apology accepted, Captain Nita. Well, in this, he goes, don't choke on your ambitions, Krennic. And it's like, oh my god, somebody had to write that and they thought it sounded cool.
That was a case of somebody being kind of facepalm worthy.
I mean, it's like, Darth Vader should not say something that lame. I expect Loki to say that. I expect that from a Marvel movie, not Star Wars. You know, it was so bad. I mean, it was just horrible. Now,
the one-liner that would make Duke Nukem even facepalm.
Yeah, it's like, and Duke doesn't have any standards. Why do you think he goes to strip clubs? Hey, never mind. But yeah, I do want to talk about the game here though that I'm playing. You know, this gets better as time goes on, but this is an example of a modernish thing that I really hate. What am I not doing right now?
Killing stuff.
Yeah, why is Wolfenstein now a stealth game? It's not a very deep stealth game, but why is it a stealth game? Why am I not shooting people in the face, be they National Socialist or otherwise?
All the climbing you're doing.
I know, it's like, what is this?
First-person Lara Croft.
I know, and it's just like, come on. That was the big problem with Wolfenstein New Order. It took forever to get to the actual, you know, shooting. Doom 2016, I might have kind of cooled on because of its constant overuse of arenas. But at least that got it right, where it's like, okay, you can immediately start killing things from the second you start the game. Whereas here, I have to... It almost is like the game wants you to work to be able to play it. You know, it's like, oh, you can't just start playing it, you gotta go through all this crap first. I mean, this isn't bad, but... Oh, wait, go on.
I will never get that. We have the template set for us by the old games of Wolfenstein 3D and Doom. It's simple. Nice big environment, guns interspersed, pure adrenaline in between.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought this game's supposed to be, like, over the top. So.
It is, but you gotta earn it. You gotta play through this crap first, and then, like, you know, then they'll give you the...
If you're using that pipe, blood should be, like, squirting out of it from, like, to be over the top, like, excessive.
Exactly, but, well, we can't have that, can we? End scene of Rogue One is the best part. The rest of the film is shit. Duke 5, that's never gonna happen. Even Kylo Ren is a poor man's version of Jason Solo. Yes.
No. Jason Solo is far better than Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is... He's Darth Emo.
Darth Harry Potter.
No, we have Evil Ron Weasley as his second command.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sit through those. I don't know when that's gonna be, but I will. There will be reviews, and I just, oh man, the second I
sat through season 1 of Discovery.
Yeah, but that like sapped me of my soul, you know, because there's a season 2 of Discovery, and if I had the time, I would actually, do more Discovery, but it's just I don't have the time now. And I'd rather spend my time on something fun. Oh, speaking of which, that's fun. I finally got my copy of Revenge of the Sith today. This is going to be a review either this month or next month. I'm not sure when. It's going to be short, like maybe 10 minutes or so, which is fine because it's an easy game to talk about. But I finally got my PS2 copy of that. What's funny is I don't have a PS2, so I'm literally going to use PSX2, you know what I mean, the PS2 emulator, to play that via the disk drive. Oh my god, it's the future. Darth Linkin Park. That's an insult to Linkin Park.
And Vulcan, sort of. The older Wolfenstein games were semi-stealth. There's not a lot of sneaking to it. There's not line of sight and things like that. So, no. It's more infiltration.
Why would you want to bring back stealth from an old Wolfenstein game that nobody's really familiar with anyways? Older.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I actually enjoyed the old Wolfenstein games because I remember them. I remember them used software well, but they weren't stealth games. Sorry, they were more infiltration games. It's a lot like playing. It's a lot like comparing, you know, Diablo to Gauntlet. Two completely different beasts, although they have the same inspiration, which is the old game D&D, and not. I'm not talking just the pen and paper D&D. That's if you go back to the Atari 800, there was a game called Dandy, which, if you spell it out, D and D.
Yep. Single best soldiers the Empire ever had. Well, they only made one of them, but yeah, that would have definitely come in handy during the Yuzhong Vong War. But whatever. I like how BJ can still just tank getting stabbed in the chest multiple times. It's like, yeah, whatever. But what about Dandy?
Essentially, both Dandy inspired all of the quote-unquote action RPGs. But to say that, you know, the games that came after it, like comparing Gauntlet to Diablo, and we're not talking about Diablo 3s because screw that noise. There's only so much cancer I can deal with.
Oh crap, I forgot how to get out of here. Oh, there we go. Come on. Just tank getting hit by the Robodog. Oh crap, go! No! I like how I'm taking next to no damage by the Robodog. It's like BJ's just he's basically Superman. The 30s version. But go on.
Yeah, Deus Ex Machina. I've got plot armor, yay!
Literally. Oh crap.
Comparing those games, like saying, you know, the original Wolfenstein was a stealth game. It's not. It does have stealth elements to it, but it's not a stealth game. It's an infiltration game.
Wait, did that just come from here? I must have. Speaking of Diablo, I finally played that multiplayer. Well, actually, no, I didn't play that multiplayer. What am I even saying? I played that, finally, for the first time a few days ago, because I hadn't played Diablo 1. I played Diablo 2 multiplayer via Game Ranger, but I had not actually played the first one. And Diablo 1, I gotta say, it's pretty rough. It's kind of boring, actually. But I can see where Diablo 2 came from that. Diablo 3 is an interesting thing. I didn't dislike Diablo 3. But then again, that was the very first Diablo game I'd ever played. It definitely pales in comparison to Diablo 2 and the Torchlight games, though.
Well, they got the atmosphere all wrong, and I still want to know, why does the sharper axe make my fireballs come out faster and stronger?
Magic? A wizard did it. And then, of course, there's
I'm playing a wizard. I certainly didn't.
Maybe you just forgot. You got high on magic shrooms. We're just gonna go with that.
You're the wrong kind of wizard.
That, and they really butchered the story in Diablo 3. Good lord.
I get
2 games plus expansions of great build-up, and they flush it all away.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a new Diablo game coming out.
Oh god, we do not.
It's dead, Jim.
Speaking of
Call it whatever you want. A dead body is still a dead body.
don't have a phone.
It's still moldering and rotting in the corner. It doesn't matter. It's dead.
Just play Torchlight 2. Play a mod for that.
Torchlight. Yeah, that was actually made by the people who made Diablo 2.
The last time me and Lotz tried to play it, like some of the mods broke online. Right?
Yeah, that's one of those things where trying to get that to work online, we should have just stuck with the base game. I'll check the chat after I've shot these politically unknown individuals. We'll just stick with that. I'm not
always some time in the.
Yeah, if ever I get time to play anything anymore. I'll tell you this though. No, go on.
As for Rammstein, they're metal.
Rammstein. Yeah, I've actually they're on my playlist at work. But speaking of not getting any sleep, even though no one was talking about that, something kind of hilarious happened. Well, it's hilarious if you were there. So, like, most of the day, I'm, like, dead because I've got, like, 5 hours of sleep. That's the maximum amount of sleep I can get and still do things. I was literally trying to put up my napkin in my lunchbox for some reason. I was like, instead of, like, throwing it away, I was just like, oh, I'm just going to store it for later. Why am I storing a fucking napkin? What is going on here? That's my brain just...
What am I doing with my life?
That's a little insane.
That's why, getting up at 4 in the morning, it'll do strange things to your brain. I'm hoping next week will be easier. This is my first week. I'm hoping next week will be easier. Like, I'll be used to it, so I won't be trying to store a napkin that should just be thrown away. It's like, I'll use it later. Why would you... Whatever. I don't know why that bothers me, but it does.
You're just reminding me of moments when you wake up. When I wake up, I don't have my coffee. And it's like, what the fuck am I...
Or, to quote The Simpsons, lousy two-legged pants.
Replying to messages before getting coffee.
Yeah, I'm sure
two-legged pants.
But I don't think I can show up to the office in a kilt.
Oh God.
I think they would probably frown on that. I mean,
probably, yeah.
I mean, like how people in Texas even wear a kilt? None. So.
No.
You'd be surprised. I've worked a construction job in Texas where I could get away with wearing a kilt, and did.
God, I hope you wore underwear underneath it.
Oh. Well, I certainly wasn't doing roofing.
Hopefully.
You're just making me think of the episode of The Simpsons where, like, Willie was wearing a kilt and it was, like, windy.
Oh, yeah. Everything is a Simpsons joke in some respects. What was that one? Oh, yeah, I was saying earlier to my mother, yeah, I'm going to put my foot down and buy an M1. And she quoted the Simpsons line, "The foot is coming down, Marge!" I do hope...
Alternate reality without Simpsons?
It would be a much darker world. See, no matter how bad this world gets, we had those 7 seasons of The Simpsons. Some people push it to season 10 being good, but I would say The Simpsons stopped being good right at season 8. There was a couple good ones in season 8, but not that many. You know, you had the Scorpio episode, which was okay. Then you had, like, I think there's that Edna and Skinner episode, but most of it was not very good.
I've been watching random Simpsons clips because they've been popping up on YouTube.
Yeah, I do the same.
That frickin' episode where Homer's an adventurer, you like Jude's Mars plays. That always cracks me up.
You know, that is another good late Simpsons episode.
Homer, yes, on horror.
That is pretty hilarious. The makeup gun.
Yes, and then he's like, "This time close your nostrils." Yeah, then it's the wall.
The makeup gun, coming soon from Brownells.
Or before that, he's drawing...
Franco. Because Ron Popeil would so be into that.
Hey, is he still alive? Or do you know?
I think he is.
Or there's the small joke where he, like, jumps up down and there's 2 explosions and he raises the dynamite on his eye.
Dynamite explodes. Not good.
As far as new episodes go, I mean, there's some gems. And birds.
Yeah, but they're few and far between. Once they got rid of all the good writers, you know, it kind of destined to go. But can you believe Conan OBrien actually wrote a few Simpsons moments?
He wrote, like, some of the best.
Yeah, here's the thing, when he actually stuck with comedy as opposed to making everything political, he was good!
Don't remind me. Oh yeah, you know, now that I have a life, I no longer watch a bunch of political stuff anymore. I used to read, like, what I call the low-hanging fruit. Now I don't have time.
Isn't Conan the least of the political host, though?
No, he's pretty political.
Okay, and
He's not as bad as, like, say, Trevor Noah and the rest of the current day casting, but he's pretty bad. Mainly because he's paid to be bad.
I haven't watched it completely, so.
Yeah, one day I will be doing some more gun reviews. You know. So once again, though, yeah, I have a life, so I can't devote everything to videos anymore. But
one has to wonder, how the hell are they ever gonna end the Simpsons?
Probably not until a major voice actor dies.
No, I mean, like, what the heck with the plot? Like,
it's probably not gonna happen until one of the major voice actor dies. I mean, I like Dan Castellaneta. I don't want to see it go, but when he goes, they're gonna be jumping all over themselves, like, how the hell do we finish this? And watch them have a Poochie moment.
Well, the actress that does Marge is already starting to sound.
Yeah, everybody on that show is massively old. Just let it go. Give them a good swan song.
I love how we're basically no shit show on. It's obvious facts, but the show's gone forever.
I know, it's kind of ridiculous.
When they surpassed the Flintstones in 1996 of being the longest aired animated series, that was time to end it. It's like, okay, you've achieved your benchmark. You set your record. Go off into the sunset, holding your head high.
It's kind of like with Futurama, although I will continue to contend, now and forever, that Futurama was never very good.
The final episode. It wasn't bad.
I don't think it was. I think the writing was bad. I think it suffered from psychotic humor, where it's like, oh look, we killed a bunch of people. Laugh now. I never liked that kind of humor, but that's just me.
Huh? What?
Yeah. Well, you know, there's one joke they had in one of the movies where, like, they went and recreated the universe and then they crushed their former selves or something, and it's like...
Are you talking about Futurama?
Yeah, Futurama.
Oh, I'll talk about... Sorry.
Treehouse of Horror, I could have done it in The Simpsons, but that'd be a long Treehouse of Horror.
Well, you know, like the Treehouse of Horror, that's fine, because that's what it's a Halloween thing, but Futurama did a lot of that psychotic humor most of the time.
Oh, I thought the last episode of Futurama was really good.
You know, Colbert, that guy. Okay, I never liked him for one. But he always... now, he might as well just be a political commentator and not a comedian. Just saying. Because what does he actually joke about in any of that stuff? It's just all turnip all the time.
And Tech, the reason why we don't like it called semi-auto rifles called assault rifles is not because of, you know, my politics, because that is used too, but the main reason is it's wrong. An assault rifle demands that it be an intermediate caliber and select fire.
Precisely.
It's been that way since World War II with the Sturmgewehr.
And sadly, the remake never was actually made. I assume they ran into magazine problems.
Actually, it hasn't been made to the market yet, though people behind it aren't gone, so it might still be made.
Oh, well that's good at least, because I know Hudson died, but I was never going to buy a Hudson H9 anyway, so...
Well, we don't know... The company is dead, I'll give you that, but we don't know who's there to buy the assets, because when a company goes like that, assets go up for auction. So, that's a company that could be brought back. I mean, we've seen Stranger in the firearms industry. I own Stranger in the firearms industry.
Well, I'd like to see that succeed, even though, once again, I wasn't going to buy it anyway, because I don't really need another 9mm. Because... No, go on.
Oh, nothing. I was back on the topic.
Oh, well, go ahead.
It's actually pretty good.
Disenchantment. I actually have seen that. The writing is actually a lot better than... It's better than it looks. Let me put it that way.
It picks up, definitely, as it goes on.
And actually, they event... Like with the Orville, they get rid of some of that more cringe comedy, and it actually becomes a straight drama. And when Orville stopped being a comedy, that's when it became good. And when Disenchantment became, you know, a dramatic fantasy work, it became good. Because comedy is so hard to do these days. You know, I think...
Here's the thing. Seth MacFarlane, he's not a bad comedy writer. he's actually pretty good when he applies himself to, you know, drama and sci-fi. He needs to actually consider doing that. Leave comedy as the paycheck maker, and chase drama, sci-fi, and fantasy as, you know, the real passion, because he's got the chops for it.
Yeah, because the I haven't actually had enough time to actually watch any more Orville, but the last episode I saw was actually really, really good. It was very dramatic, very epic in scope, and you gotta love modern day special effects because they look so good, and coupled with real writing, holy crap. Speaking of special effects, one of the other things is mainly when I get off of work, I'm too tired to do anything half the time, so what I generally prefer to do is just to kick back and watch some sort of show. And what I've watched recently has just been a bunch of movies I've been meaning to watch, like Overlord and that Cowls. Is it Cowl? I think it is, right?
Howl.
Howl. Why do I keep saying Cowl? Why can't... That moving castle thing, you know, that guy with the castle. Like, I watched that finally. But I also rewatched a few episodes of TNG in HD, because I haven't done that. Rewatched Best of Both Worlds. Spoiler alert, Picard gets assimilated. Who would have guessed? You know, remastering a show in HD can either be good or bad. And in TNG's case, like with TOS before it, it's not a bad idea. It's just, you see all the little imperfections.
It looks so good.
Yeah, but when you look at the zipper on the... Okay, I watched Q Who from season 2. That zipper on that season 1 and 2 uniform is so obvious. How did we miss it back? How did I miss it back in the day?
Because standard definition.
So it's like when you go to HD, you can see that, and then you can see once you see that zipper, you can't unsee it. You can't. The rest of the season
it's not
uniform.
standard definition either. It's like back in the day, if you didn't have a cable, it's if you even got the thing here to begin with.
Well, no, you could get good picture out of 640 by 480 over the air, but the thing is, you were limited to 640 by 480 on the CRT. CRTs, unless you really, and I mean really, spent on a really nice CRT, you had.
I think it might be
problems
worse
like
than that,
one.
actually.
Well, it's like I say, the broadcast standard then was 640 by 480. That's for over the air. That's for everything. That's not 640.
But for next gen, they shot on film and then they did the effects on VHS.
Well, it's not true VHS. They did.
Oh.
Here's the difference. They use DV for that. Now, it essentially is a tape format like VHS, but there's a big difference between that and commercial VHS. Back then, it was, you know, shot on film, then put down into Sony DV, but it's 640 by 480. We're not even talking 480p here. It's just above 480i. You really can't count it as pixels because remember, back then and today, if you still have a CRT, it's worth a darn. There's no set pixels on a CRT.
Oh. Lotz, did you see that article I shared a while back on DS9? Fans were like upscale using like those AI upscale algorithms. They look good.
Yeah, I did see that. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good idea or not, because I want to talk more about TNG. I'm going to go until 8:30. I'll push it for 30 more minutes, just because the stream's going pretty good. But that being said, because I got a shitload of stuff I got to do, but I do want the stream to go on a little more than just 1 hour. But let's see, where was I? Best of Both Worlds. Okay, so herein lies the problem, though. You can see the zippers. But the one thing that looks the worst, though, the absolute worst, are the little belts. You know, in, 620... Now, when back in those days when I was, well, I'm still alive now, but back when TNG was still being watched on a TV, you couldn't see them. I know for a fact that we didn't even we got horrible, reception where we were at the time. And, yeah. So we were doing good to get 640 by 480, but that being said, actually I'm not sure how that screen resolution works in terms of rabbit ears, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
You were getting, you know, the best possible picture out of your 640 to 480. You were getting whatever you can get over the air.
Exactly. And I think at one time we even had, like, foil on there, because that helped a little bit. Or it was wishful thinking, I don't know which.
Hey, back then, you know, this is before the small dishes and things like that, so we had this huge freaking satellite array.
You know, I think there's a neighbor around here who still has theirs.
Yeah, I'll take Seeing Imperfections, though, because my god, there's a great... I don't care.
Yeah, but the belts, though!
Also the zippers, yeah, I can get it. It looks terrible in that sense, but seeing it all high res,
the audio, yeah, it's like watching like mini movies, you know. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but at the same time, though, the belts.
Okay, here's the thing. I will unironically watch the original series, replete with the Gorn battle with Captain Kirk and the Gorn, in the highest resolution possible, because yes, I know it's cheesy. Yes, I know it's a horrible fight scene. It's horribly composed. It's just bad.
But go on.
But it still looks good, and you know, as cheesy as it is, it's a memory.
Yeah, and the original series, you can see the stitching isn't straight on their costume, but oh well. I mean, it still doesn't. The material's still there. A little bit cheesy. Quiet. But some people can't stand, though, I guess zippers and stuff, so I guess you're not the only one who...
Well, it's not that I can't stand it, it's just I see it now, and so it's like...
Yeah.
Oh, crap. Ah, I've got fucking killed by the dog again. Goddamn Robodogs. Oh, one other cool thing to show, assuming I can get over... Oh, my knees. Sitting on your ass for 10 hours is not fun.
Your legs go to sleep pretty quick.
But thankfully, I've got 2 new Lego sets that are going to be built. Not this month. Well, one is. And I missed what you said, Rain. I could hear you, but I didn't know what you said.
I'm saying you sit down for that long at any job, and your legs can go to sleep pretty quick.
I haven't had that happen yet, but it does hurt my knees a little. That's why I generally like to go on a bike ride. Although I didn't today because ran out of time. But yeah, I got 2 new Lego sets. I'll show them off here. We got this thing's long. Darth Maul's. There we go. Sith Infiltrator. That movie might have been shit, but Darth Maul was pretty cool. And then this I got for pretty cheap. The Jedi T6 shuttle. So
awesome.
I'll be built. Oh crap!
Say back to the whole remastering thing. Well, I mean, there are people who still watch stuff on VHS, compared to being remastered. Like for horror movies to have that gritty look compared to having other imperfections being noticeable. But yeah, I'll take my high def remasters of them probably.
I will.
Screen.
I will too, but it's just like it's one of those things of like you can now see the zippers and the belts and all the rest.
Right. Like maybe they could have like digitally removed those or something, but I guess they do.
Yeah,
well, digital removal of certain things like that takes a lot of work.
Right. Well, they've done it though for certain TV stuff.
Yeah, but then you can start getting the George Lucas era of okay, when is it a remaster and when is it a re-bludgeoning?
And yes, I have heard of.
I'm sorry about that.
I was gonna say I have heard of THX 1138, although I have not seen it yet.
It's just another variation of the KB4.
Yeah, but it's a good one.
Right. There was an HBO show. I don't know if it was Sopranos, but it was filmed in 4:3. But they re-released it in widescreen, and they actually matte painted out the premium. Still has a white look.
Interesting.
I heard them talk about doing that for the original Star Trek. Going to not.
They can use the T6 shuttle to build a V-wing. Hey, Epic. Wait, who said that? Epic Jason. Send me the link if you can. Like, go to the Discord server and just send me a link in that, or send it here on the stream. I'd like to actually do that because the Jedi.
I swear that Nazi saw you when he was walking by.
Yeah, but he didn't care. He's not getting paid enough to care. Because I'd like to build the V-Wing instead of the Jedi T6 shuttle.
Because I watched a small, like, old documentary talking about TV shows being remastered TV, and I guess the worst one is Buffy.
Stick to the original Buffy. Lose. They no.
What did they do to that?
It's bad.
Is it like transfer?
I guess for the HD remaster, they didn't color correct any of it, so it all looks weird. You can tell the day for night shots and stuff.
It's a Ted Turner colorization.
But it gets worse than that. They didn't even remove crew member because again, it was shot 4:3, so they released it in widescreen, but they didn't even crew member.
Oh no!
I'll have to see the video. It was pretty fun. It was pretty bad, actually. So the only pure way to watch that is fun. It's insultingly terrible.
Grab the original DVDs.
Oh man!
I don't care if you got to find yourself a 4x3 LCD monitor, cheap secondhand, which you can do. That's not so bad. And watch it that way. Or if you want to go crazy like I have, I've got PVMs. I don't recommend anybody do this for watching old school movies, even though it does look really good. It's really for gaming.
Oh yeah,
I watched somebody talk about Baywatch. I guess they couldn't get the music rights to some of the stuff, so like one episode, Little Richard, that like 98% of it cut out because they couldn't.
You see, I didn't watch Baywatch when it was new because one of those that.
I know, I didn't really either.
It was one of those. If it was on, it's all right. I'm not gonna turn it off. I'm gonna do something else. Maybe partially watch it.
I did check out a few episodes because it was I was like, okay, I gotta see how this looks. Crap, so weird sometimes.
Baywatch was never my thing, obviously, because it wasn't sci-fi. However, I do remember watching. This is a memory that I have after all these years of watching an episode of the spin-off Baywatch Nights.
Weird.
For those who've never heard of this obscure spin-off, basically X-Files meets the Baywatch.
An elderly lifeguard somehow becomes a private eye.
Because that was all the rage, like in the 70s, though. Everybody was a private eye back then.
The Hasselhoff character was already too old to be a lifeguard.
Yeah, you never know. Your age is just
late 30s is like usually the cutoff age to be a lifeguard.
So what? He was that awesome. Age is just a number, man.
Yep. Now, if we need something in HD that Hasselhoff, so we need Knight Rider.
Yeah, although Knight Rider in and of itself is a pretty silly show when you think about it.
Well, there's a lot of silly shows. I mean, Airwolf, Knight Rider,
MacGyver.
That was classic cheese there.
And then there was MacGruber, which was the
I, for one, like MacGyver and the unofficial follow-up show called For Notice, which is pretty much spies techniques because they couldn't afford to buy stuff because they were burned. You see,
yeah.
And they got a notice about it. Okay.
So they did.
There's a new MacGyver, but I haven't checked.
Baywatch in space.
You know, it's just goofy enough to work. Make it happen.
Baywatch Moon Edition. No, Baywatch Lunar. There you go. In the future,
I think Baywatch was one of the shows where like it came on. Maybe
well,
I can't tell you anything about it.
There is a part of the moon called Sea of Tranquility.
It was a lifeguard soap opera.
Actually, you know how you could bring it back for like space? Okay, humanity has left Earth because of increasing global warming. Just go with it.
They did try to bring it back with The Rock and that other guy. I don't.
Oh, that thing. But due to global warming, we've all moved to Mars. Baywatch, Sidonian Nights. Now, will anyone get the joke, though, that I just made? It's an obscure band.
In space. Space-wide.
I don't think they will, because it's a different kind of people. It'd be nice if they did, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna...
For those that don't know, Sidonian Nights is actually a song by a band called Muse. That's why it's funny, and there's like a Sidonia on Mars. I'm the comedian, you know. Stop looking at
glad
me.
they never did like a Knight Rider Baywatch crossover.
Or
Maybe be disappointed. I don't know.
Viper. Oh, let's see. Is Viper the one with like Pamela Anderson? For some reason, I think.
No, it was basically literally the Dodge Viper and a model of Dodge Viper that was never released.
You, sir, are thinking of VIP.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I used to watch that on Saturday nights. Just for
And
the
it had the
celebrity
worst
cameos.
video game of all time.
That's probably
Okay,
right.
that's hyperbolic, but it was really terrible.
I think the show was pretty terrible too, if it's what I'm thinking of. It's like she was like.
But it was intentionally terrible. But yes, it was.
Are they sure it was intentionally terrible, or were they just trying to fool you into thinking it so they could get away with it?
Part of it was knowing, and part of it was kind of not. It was weird.
Well, there was also a show that
There's an episode where Mark Hamill was Canadian Mountie, though.
What?
Yeah, it's like watching a trauma film. It's it's bad, you know it's going to be bad, but you can't stop watching.
Luke be a Jedi tonight. But anyway, let's see that.
Back to Knight Rider, there was a spin-off show where there was like a bunch of cars.
I remember that.
Not good.
They've tried to resurrect that series.
They've tried to resurrect Magnum PI and Miami Vice many damn times as well.
They already have it, a new Magnum PI show, I guess.
Yeah, and it's crap. The only good thing about it is his choice of car and gun.
Just like I haven't seen the new MacGyver, even though the new MacGyver looks like a handsome man.
Let's see, that reminds me of something. See, now I lost it again. That's the problem with my brain being tired right now.
I actually have to leave because last time it started.
Alright, well.
I could watch it on demand later, but I have to watch it.
I'm only going to be streaming for 20 more minutes anyway.
Streaming it on their streaming channel live, but whatever, I'm going to watch it. So.
How could you choose Joe Bob over me? I'm every bit as entertaining as he is, I swear.
I'm not going to answer that, actually. I'm just going to say...
The only way I could be that entertaining is if I had quite a bit more whiskey and a really bad movie to make fun of.
It's just not fair.
Someday.
Blade Runner,
Someday
possibly?
We'll do that.
Have you used compatibility mode for my brain? No, it only runs in Windows. Oh, I see it. Thanks for stopping by. I can only run it for compatibility mode in Windows ME, so yeah. And for those who don't get that joke, Windows ME was a really shit version of Windows.
Yes, it was.
With so many security exploits, it's not even funny. Like if you thought, like Windows XP was bad in terms of security exploits, you haven't seen Windows ME, that's for sure. Okay, I already pulled the lever. Now where the hell do I go? Magnum PI, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Dale is dressed like PI and Chip. I have not seen Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers in so long. I remember nothing about it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was back when Disney actually still had some semblance of a soul.
Disney. They're just the Weyland-Yutani of our brave new world.
It's in your work for Weyland-Yutani.
Yeah, you might only get killed by a xenomorph.
Quick.
Although in all reality, though, how many people were going to die from a xenomorph anyway? That was probably a really, really rare way to die. Just saying.
In the Aliens universe, you're actually more likely to die from, like, say, competing nations like the Eurasian group and the Asian Empire. I mean, you're less likely to die from, oh no, my company double-crossed me and there's now a xenomorph, doing horrible, horrible things to my face. No, it's more of, oh great, we wandered in the wrong side of space, and now we've got a hell of a fight on our hands. Break out the pulse rifles, boys.
So basically like today, only with more companies. But war's a racket, after all.
Well, there actually are nations that still host wars as opposed to just companies. 'Cause it is a lot closer to what we have right now. Weyland-Yutani would be like, imagine if Coca-Cola and DynCorp merged.
That would be pretty nutty, because Coca-Cola is not the nicest of companies.
No, they've definitely killed people before.
Oh yeah, on an unrelated note, not to get political, but that Starbucks guy sounds like an idiot. I just want to put that out there.
Most boardroom people have no common sense. Okay, here's the thing. Small business, i.e. non-publicly traded. Now, it doesn't have to be small, because best case example, the non-publicly traded business is Valve, and they're hardly small. You can have your soul, you can have composure and all that. You can be a good person and still have a non-publicly traded company. But as soon as you go public, it's practically a job requirement that everyone who has a C-level position is a sociopath.
Well, that's not fun.
It's not hyperbole. It's the fact that you have to answer to your shareholders. You have to answer to your investors. And the only thing they care about is money. As in, they're like a pimp. They're going to walk up to you, slap you in the face, and go, "Bitch, where's my money?" If you don't have their money, well, you better have the money. Or you can get a lot more than just a pimp hand.
Now, I would like to know where the hell to go on a completely unrelated note to that, but related to the game. This happened the last time I played it. I need to find a switch or something. But I cannot find it anywhere. Weyland-Yutani or UAC? You know, I think they're about equal, actually.
Yeah. I would still sooner work for Weyland-Yutani than I would UAC. Mainly because, well, outside of the, the more xenomorph-based facilities, we haven't seen somebody lose half their head to a teleporter accident or a laser.
Yeah. They actually have safety standards. Okay, I know there's a switch somewhere that I gotta pull, but I don't know where it could be. At least that's one good aspect of this game. Once you get past that horrible intro where you gotta sneak around like this is a stealth game, it actually does open up like it has here, and it's actually somewhat hard to figure out where to go. It's actually a challenge? Whatever next? Something you don't... No, I'm not sure if there's anything... I don't think there's anything up here. It's got to be down here somewhere, because if this uses any sort of logic in its game design at all, it's down here. But where down here is the good question. Or it could have been... I'm always worried that something like... something's going to glitch out that's like, I can't just find the way to go.
Yeah, but honestly, this isn't... While this is published by Bethesda, it's not a Bethesda game, so that's less likely.
Eh. Let's see, maybe I go up here? No, that's too much like a real game. But the boat doesn't go anywhere as far as I can tell. I keep falling in the water. BJ's not gonna like me. Because... Oh, I think I have to power the boat up or something. Yeah, because I know I vaguely remember having to go somewhere in the boat after this. It's been some time since I played this. Now, one company that has been able to stay the test of time has been Nintendo. That is something that is quite remarkable. They've been around since the 80s, and yet their games are still fairly good, even to this day.
They've been around a lot longer than the 80s, but for gaming, as we know it, it's been the 80s.
Well, yeah, I guess they have been around for a little longer than that, but still, the actual gaming part is what I was specifically addressing, and that's quite... Compared to so many other companies like Konami, them, Capcom, although Capcom's still mostly alive.
Yes and no. All the old staff at Capcom are long gone.
No.
They are not the same company. They have the same name, but they are not the same company.
Well, that sucks. But yeah, Nintendo, though, they've maintained their standard of quality, so that is something... I like how he just kind of plops that scope on there, and that somehow magically works.
Zeroing, what's that?
How I hate that. Because I never can get it right, it seems. And you would think it'd be easy, too, but it never is. One of these days, though, I need to get a Switch at some point, and actually play with it a little bit, but that's not going to happen for a while. But, okay, maybe there's, like, something behind one of the barrels. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe it's, like, something really obvious that I'm missing. It's like...
And yeah, the eShop does kind of suck. I wish it were better, but it's Nintendo.
And I've not even looked at it, so I couldn't tell you. Speaking of Nintendo, though, I have been playing some old Nintendo game. Well, they're not Nintendo games. Some old SNES games. Some SNES games. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Is this game glitched out, or is there something I'm missing? I only have 10 minutes to find it. Soviets instead of Nazis. Oh, there's a game that came out in 2010. It's called... I did a review on it. Crap. I can't remember. It's a thing, though. Crap.
Until then, I'm going to recommend Mother Russia Bleeds.
But that's a... I think it's a beat-em-up, though.
Yes, it is.
Not a shooter. There's a shooter that is like that, though. Okay, there's it. I bet this is a secret that I just found, not the actual way to progress. I can't even go over there because of an invisible wall. That looks like someplace you can go, but it's not. Oh, man. I hate getting lost like this, though. It always annoys me. It's a game called... Oh, I can picture it. I can picture it distinctly in my mind. I have the ability to do that, where I can picture what the name is, how long the actual name is in terms of letters, but I can't remember what it is. It's a game from 2010. Look at the games done by Raven Software, and it's on the list. It's an Atom Punk game, and it's got time travel. You carry a little thing on your arm. You got a silent protagonist. Stuff like that. I just can't remember what it's called.
Hold on. Let me pull them up.
I'm still lost. Mother Raja Bleeds. Just gonna shoot that, even though I didn't do anything. Where the hell do I go? I guess I go over there. Maybe I swim in here? Probably not.
Singularity.
Yeah, that's the one. That is basically, you know, a first-person shooter where you fight the Soviets. It's kind of a rip-off of Half-Life in some respects, except without the Combine or anything like that. It's where you got the elderly scientist father and the attractive daughter and stuff like that.
It was actually a first-person shooter at the same time the Call of Duty series was, which is probably why it died.
Also, in real life, do not use a knife to smash blocks. That would be a very bad idea.
You'll end up with one less of a knife and maybe just a body piercing.
And so we did need to swim. And let's pop up here and let's blow them up, even though in real life that wouldn't work quite like that. Because that's actually just a jellied gasoline. Path of Light. Map of Light? What? But, that being said, I recently acquired the Xbox version of KOTOR. Basically, since I have no time these days to work on, like, full video... I already said that, I think. Or did I? I can't remember. That's the problem with having no sleep. I'm gonna assume I said that. Yeah, I did say that, I think. I don't know. Rain, did I say that? Or do you remember?
You did cover it a little bit, but if you need to go into details, I don't think anybody's going to hold against you.
Nah, I don't. Because I already said what I wanted to say. I was going to say it again. That's the problem with having no sleep. But no sleep aside, there is one game that I do want to review at some point. Probably not going to be in 2020, though. Because I saw an eBay listing for it, and it reminded me of it. I almost actually got that eBay listing until I remembered that I actually had the game. BioWare, before it died, used to make a lot of really unique games. And one of their unique games that some of you might not have heard of, you can get it on Steam, by the way, is a game called Jade Empire. Imagine Knights of the Old Republic, but in a fantasy version of China. Yes, this was a thing, with an excellent story and a pretty good gameplay system. It wasn't your traditional RPG that was turn-based. It was actually, I think, sort of real-time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pseudo-real-time.
And it was really, really, really good. No one ever talks about it because I don't think it got all that popular back in the early 2000s when it came out, but it's really good. The
It had good ratings when it came out, just didn't sell that well for some strange reason.
I guess because it's not Star Wars or your generic European fantasy. But
it was still a hit. I mean, it made it. It's to sales over 1 million. It's just you know, it doesn't have the cult-like following for some bizarre reason.
Yeah, it is really strange, because, like, it is really good. There's even, like, a little mini-game where you can fly this, magical airplane. No, it's a helicopter, I think, a magical helicopter. And the story, once again, when BioWare was BioWare, their stories were really, really excellent. You know, Mass Effect Andromeda is pretty much what comes to mind when people think of BioWare today, but that was not at all what they were at their height.
It could be worse. They fell even further. They fell and made Anthem.
See, I don't really consider that a thing, though, because it's basically just a microtransaction simulator, whereas Mass Effect Andromeda, I think, actually did have a story and, you know, gameplay and not loot boxes. I think. I've yet to play that, and I don't really want to either.
It really didn't. It's... Both are terrible. If you want BioWare, play a classic BioWare game.
And there's a lot of them. You know, you got Knights of the Old Republic, you've got, you know, you've got Jade Empire, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. That third's not very good, but whatever. You got Dragon Age 1, Dragon Age 2. A lot of people like Dragon Age 2 for some reason. I didn't. I'm willing to give it a replay at some point, but...
It was alright, but when Dragon Age 2 came out, honestly, the better way to play Dragon Age outside of 1 was the pen and paper role-playing game.
Yeah, because it actually had more story instead of just sarcastic reply, happy reply, or mean reply.
And worst comes to worse, go back and play the Neverwinter Nights games. Those are actually still very good. They hold up great.
Eventually, I will have to force myself to try it again. As for the original concept art, I just put it in a box last week, but I did have on display for a little while the Stormtrooper concept. That is my favorite style of Stormtrooper, where they got the lightsaber and the blaster and the shield. That is just awesome. And I actually have 2 of those action figures. I got one from 2006 and one from 2004. Yes, I'm a nerd. And both are really cool. If ever I wanted to buy a statue, which I don't, because I kind of have moderated my views on collecting nerd crap. I have so much of it that if ever I want to move, it's going to take like a convoy of moving trucks. So I'm thinking that since I'm not really sure when it is I'm going to move on and move forward out of this place, I might hold off on buying more nerd crap. That way I don't have to haul it all with me when I go.
Welcome to my life. It's a case of, okay, I'm going to have to rent 2 pods and have those shipped. That's going to be fun.
If I wanted to ship all this crap, I'd have to have like a container ship. Or something along those lines.
Connex, you know, just come in, hook to a 16-wheeler. Like, where do you want it? Backyard.
So, in any event, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Wolfenstein Old Blood stream. We got through 2 levels. I don't remember how many levels were in this game, but I do want to play it all before Youngblood comes out, and I hope Youngblood is not as abhorrent as it might or might not be. I've not seen any trailers on it, so... I'm hoping it's not just a feminist fest or a SJW jamboree, but you never can tell.
It's not, but it's the Old Blood's actually pretty good. I'm gonna be honest; it's better than what came after.
No, I mean I was talking about Youngblood, the one that's coming out this year. Yeah, I was saying I'm hoping it's not a feminist fest, and I'm hoping it's not a SJW jamboree.
We'll find out.
Oh, that never sounds good. So, for now, I am General Lotz.
I'm Radic.
And we can wish you good Old Blood and good New Order, whatever makes you happy.
Good original Baldur's Gate. Don't play the remake, play the original, because the tacked-on story, not worth it.
And you heard it here. Although, to be honest, I've never played Baldur's Gate, didn't like the combat. But now this ending is going on too long, so see ya.
Have a good one.